Woo! Yes, boys. As my belongings are falling apart. What's going on, gentlemen? Good morning. Today is Saturday, June 28th, 2025. The time is 10:42 a.m. and I've got quite a juicy topic for you boys. Might not seem that juicy at first glance when looking at the title, but I've got quite a few things to go into. Now, I'll talk about how this topic came about. Firstly, if you don't know who I am and you're confused coming across this video, hello, welcome. My name is Ephraim. You see my channel name is Pool University, and who I am is and what I do. I'm 25 years old from the United States, more specifically the Bay Area, California. And just over 2 years ago, my dating life was atrocious. I did not know how to generate leads for myself, was struggling to line up a date, was spamming dating apps, spamming Instagram DMs, trying my best to shoot my shot. Every now and then I'd muster up the courage to gather some friends and roommates at the time and go out to bars and clubs on Friday, Saturday nights and hit on girls there, and was finding no success. The occasional makeout, where I'd make out with a girl. We were both drunk in a club and it was all sloppy, but nothing past that. And if you fast forward 2 years, if you fast forward a few months from being at that point back in 2023, I paid somebody to teach me the art of daytime cold approach. His name is Christian Casanova. Shout out to him, one of my really good friends. And I'm currently in a group called The Entourage with him, where we break past fears and barriers on a daily basis and show guys how to do the same. So that's Christian's group. And yeah, ever since working with him now, my dating life is taken a complete 180. If you don't believe me, you've got a channel catalog of evidence you can browse through on my channel to see that I'm not full of shit and that I actually know what I'm talking about. All right, so that's a little bit about me. Now, how this topic came about is a guy in the paid community. We've been messaging back and forth. He joined yesterday and we've been messaging back and forth quite a bit. And one of the last topics we talked about kind of spilled into this morning. So we were speaking yesterday and I woke up to a new message from him, and it ended up being a really, really good live stream topic. All right, so I'll read a bit of the message and then we'll get into the topic itself. All right, so he says, let me find the correct message here. So he says, "Isn't it weird how I still feel inadequate despite all the positive reference experiences?" So for context, this is a guy who's had some success with cold approach. So if I'm referencing his earlier messages, he said just this year he's been on about 12 dates through cold approach. 3 of those dates he's made out with, but nothing past that. Yeah, so he hasn't gone past that quite yet this year. Or there was a girl that he was dating briefly through cold approach, so I'm not sure if that went anywhere, but he did end up saying he ended things with that girl because he wasn't terribly attracted to her. Okay, so essentially this is a guy that, for one, is further ahead than I was when I got into this space. When I came across Christian's channel, I went on 0 dates that year and I had approached 0 girls. So this is a guy who's already starting out ahead of where I was starting out. All right, but he's also in a phase where a lot of guys are with this skill, where they found a little bit of success. So in his case, decent, right? 12 dates in 6 months, not bad, right? Averaging 2 dates a month through cold approach, but hasn't been able to get past the kind of the date phase, and maybe he's been on a couple second dates, but nothing past that, right? So that's your context. Now, reading his message, he goes, "Isn't it weird how I still feel inadequate despite all of the positive reference experiences? It really boggles my mind, I guess." And then he says, without getting too personal, when you had your first happy ending from cold approach, did you wake up the next morning with a completely new mindset and sky high confidence because now you had hard evidence that you were the guy who can actually do it? He says, "A part of me feels like I'll never feel truly worthy enough for this new identity until I've gone the full distance for the first time." All right, so I'll read part of my response, and this will be me reading my response, referencing the whiteboard, and diving deeper into our topic today. Okay, so I say, "Not at all. When I woke up the morning after my first experience through cold approach, I felt exactly the same as before. That's exactly what I mean when I talk on my channel about it's not as life changing as guys seem to think. It's not the end all be all. So I'm not referring to cold approach. I'm referring to the release, the climax. Yeah, finally getting laid through this skill set. It's not the as life changing as guys seem to think it's going to be. So the next paragraph I say, it's great to have sexual activity, and we'll get deeper into this as well. But as soon as you climax, you realize that this girl and this release that you've been chasing this entire time is not going to solve life for you. Instead, what happens is you go next priority up. Now I've got this area of my life sorted. It's time to tackle the next goal. All right. So first thing I wrote on the whiteboard is this is way deeper than getting the girl. All right. So, surface level content in this space, right? The very mainstream content, the content that tends to go viral, oftentimes is guys telling you that this is the end all be all. Not just cold approach, just the whole dating space in general, right? They're telling you that, if you're lacking in your dating life, then life is going to be miserable. And that part I agree with. But then they're framing it as if you solve this one problem, yeah, that you can't get dates, that you can't get experiences with girls, then all of a sudden the rest of your life is going to be solved. All of a sudden, you're not going to, all the goals and stuff are going to fall to the wayside and you're going to be so completely satisfied with your life and your where you stand in the moment. And it's going to, magically everything is going to disappear. All the self-limiting beliefs are going to go away. And you're just going to be this amazing, confident alpha stud who fucks all the girls. And you're this cool guy all of a sudden, right? And I disagree wholeheartedly with that perspective. Now, from my perspective, the reason why I truly believe that cold approach specifically is life-changing is not just because you're getting the girl. All right. Now, obviously, that's the main thing that guys are after when they're getting into this space. Oftentimes, this space is filled with guys who are not getting the girl. And they think that as soon as they get the girl, oh my God, life is going to be amazing. Everything's going to be perfect. But what I've come to realize through having boatloads of experiences with this skill set is actually not a whole lot changes as far as your internal belief. The actual change happens through the effort, through the journey, through walking over to the girl and doing it again and getting rejected and falling on her face and doing it again and again and again and learning as you go and growing as and starting to improve as you progress. And that's where the true value of the skill set lies. And not just that, but of course, the cascading effects that come with getting over your fear. Yeah. So in my case, it's going from a kid who didn't think he had anything to provide to the world to now all of a sudden I got a whole channel, right? And all of a sudden I was a programmer, then I was in tech sales, doing things that I thought I never would have been good enough to do. And now stepping away, taking it a step further, looking at my life from a third person bird's eye perspective and going, I can add more value than working at this 9-to-5 job. I can add more value than selling this software to other companies. I can add more value than building this software, right? And that's the realization that I've had over these couple of years of building this skill set is, 1% of the benefit that I'm getting from this skill set is that I get laid. Yeah, is that I can go and make something happen with a girl and have a date and oh my God, happy ending, great experience. That's 1% of the benefit that I'm getting through this. The real benefit is how my life is changing, and specifically the trajectory of my life is changing because of the new decisions that I'm able to make, because of the clarity that I feel through not having this testosterone buildup 24/7. I get to make clearer and more impactful decisions about my life moving forward and my future because I'm no longer so focused on, oh my God, I need to get the girl. Oh my God, I need to get the release. And that's blocking my view and my viewport. All right. Is that starting to make sense? So, next thing I put on the whiteboard, you think that something massive will shift when you finally find success. And the reason you think that is because right now you are in the unknown. Yeah, so you're experiencing some level of FOMO. You watch my channel, you watch related channels where guys are posting their experiences and their wins, etc. And you're feeling this fear of missing out, and you're going, "Oh, that guy's living that rock star lifestyle that I think is the pinnacle of human experience, of male experience. I need to experience that for myself too." Even if on one hand, a guy is saying, this is the best. Oh my God, you're missing out on so much. Or you're watching a channel like mine where I'm going, all right, yeah, you're missing out. You're not having the experiences that you want, but trust me, this is not going to solve life for you. And the reason why I want to make sure to be so transparent on this channel is because I want you to know what to actually expect. Yeah. And so I'm, what I was going to reference next is that there are a lot of creators that are trying to sell you stuff, sell you tangential products that are somewhat related to dating or self-improvement in general. And they're using the fact that you're not getting girls right now, they're using that as leverage over you. So let me explain what I mean. A lot of these creators, I'm not going to go into specifics, I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to put people down. But a lot of these creators, they have some sort of a product or a service, whether it be they're sponsored by Tiege Hanley, the men's skincare routine product line, right? I mean, whether they're sponsored by that, whether they got a sponsorship with some cologne company or some dating app company. Yeah, a lot of these guys, or maybe they've got a little community going where they teach you how to dress well, right? Men's fashion. And a lot of this is somewhat linked to dating, yeah, to some capacity. Yes, certainly you can argue, oh, well, I want to learn how to dress well because I want to be dapper and I want to feel good about myself. Sure. But a lot of the time you're trying to you're in a community where you learn how to dress well and skincare and all of this extra stuff because you're trying to get the girl at the end of the day, right? If we really zoomed in all the way, the reason why you're consuming a lot of this is because you want to learn to get the girl, right? And so the creators of those channels and the people that are sponsored by those products, they're very aware of that. They're very aware that you don't have that dating life that you want. And so they try to position these products and these accessory services in a way that makes you think that you need to buy these things to accomplish this ideal life that you're after of, oh my God, I finally got the girl. And they're using the fact that you don't know that once you do end up getting the girl and you have your first ever climax, etc., through Cold Approach, they're using that as leverage because they know and you don't know that it's not going to change your life. Yeah, because if they were spewing the same stuff that I am and they were saying, yeah, dude, you're gonna finally get laid and then you're gonna look around, you're gonna walk her down to her Uber and you're gonna come back to an empty apartment and it's nighttime and you're looking around and you're going, I'm still Ephraim. I'm still in the same position that I was before I fucked this girl. My life still looks the same as it did before I fucked this girl. The only difference is I got the climax that I was so fervently chasing for the past few weeks, months, years, whatever the case is for you. All right. So that's my reality, at least. I can't speak for everybody, but that's the reality that I've come to understand. And so continuing on. So yeah, what I was getting at there is you think that something massive will shift when you finally find success with this skill set. And a lot of creators use that as leverage and go, well, this guy doesn't know that he's going to climax and then look around and go, well, on to the next. Now, what do I need to achieve? Now, what's the next thing I need to do? And so because you're not aware that that's going to happen, they're trying to sell you every kind of accessory product that's anywhere linked or related to dating. And they're framing it as you must buy this men's skincare routine, which I will get 30% commission off of if you want to live a good dating life. And if you don't buy this product, you're not going to live a good dating life. You're not going to live this ideal that you're chasing so drastically, right? They're going, well, if you don't dress this certain way and have this certain men's fashion style, then you're not going to get the result that you're after, and you're always going to live a life of misery, blah, 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 right? And this is their angle. Okay. So continuing on. So the next thing I put is, yeah, instead it's next priority up. Just now, there's no more FOMO. So once you do find your success, right? Remember his question to me is, let me read this. Without getting too personal, when you had your first happy ending from Cold Approach, did you wake up the next morning with a completely new mindset and sky high confidence because now you had hard evidence that you were a guy that could actually do it? Right. So that's his question is, did I all of a sudden wake up the next day and go, wow, I got laid. Okay. Life is great. Life is perfect. I have nothing left to accomplish. I have sky high confidence, right? I can do this now. I'm the best. No, that's not what happened whatsoever. All right. So instead, what happened is I went, all right, next priority up. That's genuinely what happened for me. So back in 2023, I just got laid off of my first programming job. And as soon as I started finding success with this skill set, don't get me wrong, life improved. Yeah, dating life certainly improved. I mean, that was a 180, but life overall definitely improved for the reasons that I mentioned, though. It's not because all of a sudden everything was sorted and life was perfect and I didn't think that I needed to do anything else with my life. No, what actually happened for me is I woke up the next morning, or we could even say I walked her down to her Uber. I came back to my empty, dark apartment. I looked around and I went, huh, things still look relatively the same. I still feel relatively the same. And instead, I went, all right, now what do I have to focus on? All right, I figured this out. I figured out how to get a date. I figured out how to lead the date. Okay, I'm getting results through this. This is going well. Now, what's the next priority on my priority list that I need to tackle? And in that moment, back in 2023, it was get my next programming job. And so this is where the real benefit starts to kick in. So, guys, we think that the benefit kicks in when we're fucking her and we're going, oh my God, I'm about to climax. Oh, I just climaxed. Wow, life is perfect now. And that's how we're thinking if we're on the other side of it where we're not getting results. But what happened for me is I went, all right, I mean, that was fun. That was great. It was a lot of effort for what actually ended up happening, right? It's like, wow, this was years of research, years of red pill theory, years of fucking trying to figure this out. Finally, I get the climax, and now I'm like, I mean, that was great and all, but the real benefits started kicking in when I had that mental clarity now. When I was no longer driven by my testosterone buildup, I was no longer driven by my hormones, my sex drive, and I was going, oh, okay. So I figured out how to. I found an outlet for my sex drive, right? I found an outlet for all of this testosterone buildup. And before, the outlet was watch porn and jerk off into a tissue. That was the outlet before, very dissatisfying outlet. Now the outlet is walk over to a handful of girls, find one that likes me, go on a date with her. Hopefully the date goes well. If it goes well, she comes back to mine. That's my new outlet. Yeah, and hopefully that statement is you're understanding how powerful that statement is. Most guys can't say that, right? Most guys, their outlet is, all right, I got to hop back on Tinder and swipe until I get another match and she likes me. And then we go through this month long process of trying to get her on a date, right? Most guys' outlet is, all right, I got to wait till next Friday night so I can go back out and try to hit on more girls at the bars or the club. But somebody who has this skill set buttoned up and they're really effective at it, your outlet now is, well, I know how to generate the date. I can go out on any given day. It doesn't matter the day of the week. Yeah, I can go out as long as it's not fucking hailing or snowing. I'm probably good to go. Yeah, and I can go out and I can meet a handful of girls, and some of them will like me, and some of them will come on a date with me, and some of them will come back with me. And that is your new structure. That is your new outlet, because it's such a reliable outlet, right? You're not reliant on the girl swiping right on you. You're not reliant on the quality of girl that's in the nightclub or the bar that you're attending, and that type, and it has to be compatible with who you are and what you like. You're not depending on those factors anymore. Now you're only depending on your output. You're only depending on your skill set, your bravery, yeah, your courage, your work ethic, and whether or not you're going to take yourself out of your apartment and go and shoot some more shots. Yeah. So because you're depending on yourself fully, it allows you to think with a different lens. Now you see life differently, and you're going, oh, I don't have to put off hanging out with my parents because I haven't gotten laid in a couple of weeks and I need to go see my friends and go hang out at a bar with them and try to hit on chicks that way. No, I could actually prioritize things that are more important to me than getting laid now. Yeah. Oh, now I no longer have to be struggling through this job application process, and oh my god, I hate this. And on top of that, I'm just drastically horny and I haven't gotten laid in a few weeks, and now I'm struggling, and I'm like half thinking about girls, and I'm half applying for jobs, and I'm half swiping on Tinder, and then I'll 30 minutes later I'll come back to this job application and blah blah blah. You no longer have to think and behave like that, because you've got a system in place where you can reliably generate leads and ultimately reliably release the testosterone. You no longer have to think with this cloudy lens, and now you can see life differently, and you can go, oh, I can go and take that trip right now because I won't be worried about, oh no, I'm not going to get laid for a month because I'm in a new country and I got to rely on their dating apps and their customs and stuff. No, you can bring your skill set with you wherever you go. Yeah. So that's, now we're starting to talk about when I actually started seeing true benefits from this, not just, oh my god, now I can reliably and consistently have sex. Oh wow, this is the biggest benefit. That's why I'm saying that part is genuinely 1% of the benefit that I realized through this skill set. And the one that I just mentioned, right, being able to think clearly, that's not even the biggest benefit, right? We're going to get into more, but that's a huge one. Far bigger, in my opinion, than having a reliable release point. Yeah, it's funny how I'm describing girls. That's awful, right? Oh yeah, she's a release point. But you get it, right? If we're going straight logical, straight male brain, straight animalistic, we're yeah, sure, we value everybody as a person. Yeah, everybody has their emotions and their intrinsic value. But if we're thinking just male brain, animalistic, man, woman, oh my God, I need to release my testosterone, then that's a small benefit to what you're getting through building this skill set and getting really good at it. All right. So, so yeah, I said instead, it's just next priority up. So you no longer have to, you, I guess let's position this differently. You build the skill set effectively. You have that moment that I talked about, right? That lonely moment in your apartment where you just walked her down to her Uber and you just reached the climax and you thought that that was the end all be all. And now you're looking around and you everything still looks the same. Your bed's still in the same place. Your desk is still the same desk. Your laptop's still sitting over there. Work to be done, right? Job applications to fill in or whatever point in life you're at, right? There's still work to be done, and the benefit now is you're going, okay, I'm somewhat satisfied, right? And we're going to get into how the satisfaction is never actually achieved. But for the present moment, I'm no longer horny. So I no longer have to worry about, oh, what dating app this, nightclub that, oh, coworkers this. I no longer have to think about that anymore. And now for the next 24 to 72 hours where I'm not very horny because I've already had my testosterone release, now I just get to focus on what's actually important. And what's great is that 24 to 72 hours, that's just the physical side of things, right? That's just you're a male somewhere around my age, and that you're generating your balls are generating more and more testosterone. Yeah, the longer you go from that release point, but that's just the physical, numerical side of things. But what's great is it's not like you hit hour 72 and you go, oh my God, I'm horny again. I'm starting over from scratch now. Let me pull up Tinder and swipe again. Oh my God, I'm starting over from scratch again. Let me go. I got to wait till Friday now until there's nightclubs and I can go out to those nightclubs. Instead, you have something in the back of your head which goes, wait a second. Maybe I'm starting to feel the testosterone drive again, but I no longer have to scramble. I no longer have to like feel this super scarce mentality where I'm going, when's the next girl? When am I going to meet the next girl? When's the next girl going to swipe right on me? When match with me on the dating app? Oh my God. When's the next time I'm going to be able to go out to the nightclub, to the bar? Instead, what happens is your brain goes, wait, I've done this before. I know now that I've proven this to myself, I know that I'm capable of meeting a girl in any of these situations, in any of these circumstances, regardless of what day it is. Yeah, as long as the sun is out or even that, right? As long as there's daylight and as long as, I put in the effort, I'm very capable of meeting a girl and going the distance with her in a very short amount of time, right? For me, oftentimes it's the same day. I'm meeting the girl, we meet up later that evening and we have a great experience after that. So once you realize, especially doing that multiple times, then it really gets solidified. But even after the first time, once you prove to yourself that you're capable, you need to prove it, right? I can't prove this to you through my experiences. You need to prove this to yourself. But once you do, you no longer are bombarded with this fear of oh my God, I don't have a new girl to see. The girl that I just went on a date with, she flew back to her home country already. Oh, I have nothing. I have no leads right now. Instead, what happens is you start to feel that sex drive again, right? 3, 4, 5 days later, and you go, okay, realistically, if I really, really wanted a release, I can go out, I can line up some dates for myself, and that's probably what you'll do. But you can also go, but I also know that I don't need the release. I also know that if I get the release, I'm going to be right back to square one once again, where I'm going to be, oh, I'm so horny. Okay, now we're on the date. Okay, it went amazing. All right, I just had my climax. All right, I walked her down to her Uber. I'm going to walk back to my apartment. It's going to be empty. The desk is going to be positioned in the same place. Yeah, my fucking kitchen and the items in my fridge, they're going to be the same. And life isn't going to have completely changed or completely been altered in any way. It's just that now I'm less horny. And so that then you start to be able to think differently. Yeah. You go, all right, well, I could go and line myself up a date. I'm kind of feeling horny, but like I could also push this off until next week. I can also just focus on the work that I have in front of me and the priorities that I have in front of me and what I want to accomplish today and tomorrow and the next day, rather than going and chasing another girl and chasing another climax. All right. Now, hopefully, you're starting to see the power of this, the true power of this skill set. Yeah. It's not just like, oh, I need to spam this ongoing to get as many girls and as many experiences as possible. And that's gonna be the makeup of my life. Yeah. It's like if you're pinning your accomplishment, your life accomplishment on how many girls you're banging, it's probably going to be a very sad life. Yeah. A very dissatisfying life, to say the least. So, continuing on, the next thing that I say in my response is, I think I already read this, but I'll read it again. It's great to have sexual activity, but as soon as you climax, you realize this girl and this release that you've been chasing this entire time is not going to solve life for you. Instead, it's next priority up. Now I've got this sorted, right? Now I've got dating sorted. Now I figured out how to generate leads for myself. What's my next goal to tackle? All right. And so, next thing I put on the whiteboard is we'll always be chasing the dragon. We'll never be satisfied. All right. So I'm 25 years old. I'm by no means a guru, a guy who's got this all figured out. But what I have learned up until this point through getting really good at this skill set is we'll never be satisfied. We'll always be chasing the dragon. All right. This for the exact same reason, for the exact same reason that if you are in a position where you're not getting girls and you're jerking off to porn every time you're horny, you're still never satisfied in that case, right? Where you get your release and then 4 or 5 days later you're horny again and boom, back to the same porn website, right? Because so you've already uncovered that you'll never be satisfied. This sex drive, it's not going away until we turn 80 or whatever it is, right? Until it truly sharply declines, it's not going away. All right. So same thing here. All right. You think that having a girl in front of you is going to make this way different. Now, to be fair, it's going to make it way more enjoyable, way more satisfying, but not ultimately satisfying, because you're going to have your climax with this girl. It doesn't matter how hot she is. And 4, 5, 6 days later, the day is going to roll around and you're going to find yourself in the same position with the same sex drive and maybe a slightly different taste now. Right now you're going, all right, I've already experienced the girl that looks like this, that's from this country and this culture. That was great. But what about this girl? She looks different. Maybe she's the answer, right? Maybe she's going to make me feel satisfied. Maybe this, that, and that. And then you'll go and you'll have a date with her and you'll experience her. And then you'll go, all right, I mean, that was great also, but like, I'm still not that satisfied, right? So that's the key here. You're never going to be entirely satisfied, right? And so that's where a non-reliable method of acquiring leads, that's where it gets a little tricky, right? That's where the dating apps, the nightclubs, the bars, the co-working settings and all this stuff that you're trying out, that's where it gets a bit dicey, because now you've already banged your coworker and you're going, well, that was good, but I kind of wish I didn't do that, because now it makes work a little funny. It makes work a little weird and awkward. All right, well, I met this girl from a dating app and we had a great night and that was cool, but like, 1 week has gone by and I'm still horny, right? Now all of a sudden I got the sex drive is back. Now I'm still horny. That this hasn't solved my life, right? And so same thing applies. Yeah, we're always going to be chasing the dragon. We're never going to be satisfied. Okay, so next thing that I wrote is recognize this. Oh, you know what? I'll save this for after I read this whiteboard point. All right, so I put, that's a good thing. It's how society was developed. All right. So I'm not framing this as a bad thing. It's good that we're never satisfied, right? If now zooming out from dating, specifically from sex, zooming out a bit, if somebody built one house and then they were satisfied and we're like, all right, this is society. We all have to pile into this one hut. Well, that would be problematic, right? So we've got people that are always going to be striving, always going to be achieving. The same reason why business owners and millionaires, they tell you, yeah, I mean, I thought I was going to be so happy as soon as I hit the $1 million mark, as soon as I exited my company and had all this money, but instead I just got even hungrier, right? Instead I just got, all right, what else can I accomplish now? What else can I achieve? What else can I build? Rather than, okay, I built this 7-figure company. I'm going to sit on my throne for the rest of eternity and I'm going to bathe on a sandy beach and I'm going to be doing all this extracurricular stuff, and that's all my life is going to be from this point on. That's never how it ends up working out, right? Instead, those people, they sell their companies and they make videos like Jordan Welsh, who goes, all right, I just sold my company for $10 million and I'm more depressed than ever. Yeah, he's going, I was less happy when I sold my company for 10 million than when I made my first ever dollar in that same company. How interesting, right? We're always going to be chasing the dragon, and that's a good thing. I mean, depending on how you look at it, but essentially that's a good thing, because look around, right? Look at society. Look at all these buildings that have been erected. Look at all of these creations and all these automations, and now we got AI. We're building robots to do the shit for us, right? So it's like ingenuity that is sparked from a feeling of dissatisfaction, right? It's sparked from a feeling of not being good enough, not being satisfied, always chasing the dragon, right? The society itself is built on that human feeling of not being satisfied and just laying down on our back and going, all right, I did it, I accomplished it, I'm done. No, it's always going to be next thing, next goal, next achievement up, next priority up. That's how we're designed. All right. So zooming back into dating, that's it, it's no different here. It's not like, all right, I've oh my God, I've experienced this girl that is this level of hot, and now all of a sudden my life is great and peaches and rainbows and there's no problems anymore. Not at all. Instead, what's much more likely to happen to you is what happened to me, where you look around in that empty apartment and you go, well, that was fun, but like, now what? Now what am I going to do? And you just go down your priority list. And for me, back in 2023, I just started focusing harder on my career. Yeah, then I got a new programming job and life improved a bit more, and then got laid off from that, pivoted to tech sales. Life started improving a bit more, right? All these remote jobs that I'm working. But you see hopefully you're starting to see the true benefit. Yeah. So it's not, oh, now I can get the girl. It's, oh, now I can think clearly. Now I can think like a human being that is not driven from testosterone, that is not driven by testosterone. And instead, I'm driven by what I actually want to achieve. I'm driven by my actual desires and not just my sexual desires. Does that make sense? We'll always be chasing the dragon. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful trade off. Yeah. We talk about life is all about trade offs, and this is one of them. All right. So, anyways. Oh, okay. So the next thing that I wrote to our member here is, I said, recognize this. We're always going to feel this way. You, me, anyone doing anything worthwhile. We never feel adequate. We feel more competent, but we don't feel satisfied. All right. So remember how we started this live stream is he was talking about how he's actually had some success through cold approach. He's been on a handful of dates this year, a dozen dates to be specific. And he still doesn't feel adequate within himself, right? He still doesn't feel good enough. He still walks over to some girls and they seem too good for him, or he thinks they're too good for him, or he thinks he's not good enough for them, right? He still gets in front of the girl and he's nervous and he's somewhat awkward, just like me, right? And so what I'm getting at here is he and I were no different. So maybe we're at different points on the mountain because I've climbed a bit higher than he is, because I've put in more reps and therefore had more dates and more experiences and learned more things. But I still feel these same feelings. I still come across girls that are just drop dead gorgeous, and I go, I don't know if I'm enough for that girl. I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna like me. I don't know if the girl or the guys that she's probably dating are probably way above my echelon, right? They're probably way more stronger, richer, taller, everything, right? Same feelings of inadequacy. But the difference is I just walk over anyways. Yeah, these days I just give myself a chance anyways. Even if I'm feeling that, I go, well, what's the worst that could happen? She just confirms what I'm already thinking in my mind. Let me go and give myself a shot, right? And so I walk over, and a lot of the times I surprise myself. A lot of the times the girl that I thought was out of my league actually thinks that I'm out of her league. And maybe she's not saying that verbally, but I start to get that feeling as I'm in conversation, and she starts fumbling over her words, right? I'm on the date and she starts breaking eye contact out of nervousness first. And I'm going, wow, this is the girl that I thought was out of my league. And now she's showing me signs that she actually doesn't know if she's on my level, right? She can't keep up with the banter, for example, or these different scenarios, right? And I'm going, wow, life is crazy, isn't it? Because I could be thinking one thing, she could be thinking the opposite thing. And we never would have known that we both were interested in each other if I hadn't just got over my fear and broken the ice. Yeah. So we'll never feel adequate. I mean, you know what? I can't say that because I'm not I'm not some monk who has achieved life. So I don't know. Maybe at some point in life you do feel adequate. Maybe you hit your 40s and your prefrontal lobe is fully developed. I don't fucking know. I really don't care. But up until this point in my life, this is what I've experienced. Is even though I've had all of the success through cold approach and all of these date breakdowns that you see on my channel, I still, I feel more confident in myself. Sure. I feel more adequate. I feel more competent, but I don't feel just completely like I've arrived. And I don't think I'll ever feel that way. I hope I never feel that way, because at that point is when I'll stop growing and I'll just turn around, right? Instead of leading from the front with my back turned to the pack and I'm leading us into battle, instead I'll be turned around, face turned to the pack, and I'm going, all right, you guys do the work. I'll just sit here and sit on my ivory throne. Yeah, I'm sure this is where a lot of people in this space end up, where they've got a body of work behind them and they think that, all right, I've achieved everything. I've got nothing left to do. And so anyways, we're kind of tangenting. So let's continue on. The next thing that I put on my whiteboard, now this is one of the other benefits that you're going to get from cold approach. So not just, oh my God, I've got the girl, now I'm satisfied sexually. Not just, now you can focus on things with a clear mind and a clear perspective rather than being clouded by your drive, your sex drive, but also you release yourself from the need to prove something to others in this area. This is a big one. This was a huge one for me. Before I had a rock star dating life, I always felt the need to prove myself in this in this area of my life to others, whether it be friends, whether it be roommates, whether it be coworkers, whether it be family members. Yeah, there was this little what do we call them? There was a chip on my shoulder, right? Where because I didn't have the result, because I still had that fear of missing out in my head, because I was thinking, well, some guys have rock star dating lives, me, I can't get myself a fucking date lined up, right? Because that was my reality. I was walking through life with this kind of a mentality, which was, all right, if somebody tries to challenge me or whether or not I can get girls, I got to push back really hard. I got to defend myself. Yeah, if one of my friends tries to crack a joke about how I have no dating activity, I got to prove myself. I got to defend myself, right? And what also came with that was this need to post about it. Yeah, so in this age of the internet, as soon as I started getting any level of results with girls, this was before cold approach, but back when I finally got laid through a dating app. Oh my God, it happened twice now. Wow. Back when that was the case, I would post pictures of myself with, let's say I had a girl that I was seeing for a couple of weeks. Now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, here, sit on my lap. And I'm taking a selfie with her and then posting that on my Instagram with the caption to show that, oh my God, Ephraim gets girls. Oh, see all these people that I grew up with that would ridicule me because I couldn't get I couldn't get a girlfriend, or they were way ahead of me and this and that. All of that, I thought would go away because, oh, look, I'm posting a selfie now. Oh my God, now I'm adequate. Now I can get the girl. Wow, this girl's hotter than the girl that my friend was dating. See, now I'm good enough. And so that's also what came with it was, when I'm talking about a need to prove something, that was part of it, right? Trying to show the world, look, I'm a player now. Look, yeah, maybe I was a loser who didn't get girls in high school, but now I got all the girls now. Wow. Yeah. And so it's like learning this skill set, getting really effective at it, releases you from the need to do that. Stuff like that releases you from the need to get defensive when somebody tries to go, oh, you get no girls, right? Nowadays, somebody says, Ephraim, you get no girls. I would laugh it off. In my head, I'd be thinking, wow, this guy has no idea the channel that I'm running behind closed doors, right? I guarantee you this guy has no idea about my YouTube channel, but I wouldn't even say it, right? I would just be like, yeah, I guess I'm just not like you, bro. Yeah, I wish I could be like you, dude, getting all the girls, dude. What a sick guy you are, man. Yeah, awesome. Right? That's how I'd react these days because I no longer have anything to prove to anybody, right? I talked to my last live stream about how I don't even have girls pictured on my Instagram. Yeah, because once again, the guys that are, especially the creators, but the guys that are so focused on, oh my God, pre-selection, you need to get as many girls photos with girls on your Instagram as possible so you can activate pre-selection, right? That I still loop that into this category of the feeling that you need to prove something to somebody, right? So like I intentionally I have photos with girls that I've gone on dates with plenty, right? Plenty, especially the ones where I'm meeting out in different countries and we go do some little tourist thing together. Yeah, both of us are tourists in this new foreign country, and so we go and we pose in front of a monument and we have somebody take a photo of us, or we're out on our date and we're taking a photo at the bar, blah blah blah. I got so many of these, but I'm not posting them on my Instagram for that very reason. I no longer feel the need to have to prove to the world, oh, Ephraim gets girls, Ephraim can do it, Ephraim's good enough, blah, blah, blah. Even though just 2 years ago, I was in that position where I felt the need to prove things. Yeah. And so that's what, it's not even that intentional, but for the photos that I've got on my Instagram, I just got generally what my life is looking like these days. Yeah, it's me traveling to a new country. It's me with my friends in a new country, right? I got some photos with Christian, where we're out in Barcelona and we're filming content, and so like, we got a cool little photo of us doing that, right? It's like that's what I'm talking about, though. Is I no longer feel the need to like, oh, I got to post all these hot girls and me on dates with hot girls on my Instagram for pre-selection, blah blah blah. And honestly, part of it too is that I've found, I don't know about you guys, but I've actually found that this can work against me sometimes. So what I'm getting at here is girls tend to loop me into like a player kind of category without me needing to show pre-selection. Yeah, just like the manner at which I'm walking over to them, the confidence that I'm displaying with my bold approach, with the fact that I'm not fazed by the conversation and I can keep it lighthearted and fun, and I can lead the conversation really well, and I can tell her what I want and tell her I want to take her out and tell her I want to flirt with her and all this stuff. Because I can do all of that, and most guys that they're interacting with on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis cannot do that, they automatically just put me into the category of guy that already gets girls. So I don't need to have all of these extra metrics. I don't need to have an Instagram full of hot girls that I'm on dates with for them to think this guy's already getting girls. They just already think that, right? They're already looping me into that category anyways, just because of who I've built myself into. Does that make sense? Essentially, what they're saying is, yeah, this guy seems like he's already doing all right for himself, right? They don't need to see photos of me with hot girls on the beach or wherever I am on this date in Cyprus and this and that. They don't need to see all that. If they saw all that, then it would probably work against me, right? Because not only would it confirm to them the lifestyle that I'm living, but then it would also show that I feel this need to like prove it to the world. Not only am I living it, but I also need other people to know that I'm living it for me to feel adequate. Does that make sense? We're getting a little deep here, but hopefully that's making sense. We kind of sidetracked a bit. But so yeah, that's a huge benefit that you're getting. For me, that was one of the biggest ones, right? The release. So what I mean is, because I've been released from this need, this feeling that I need to prove myself, a lot of the times, like people, they want to know more about my dating life than I even give them context about. So like my dad, for example, all the time we'll be hanging out and he'll be asking me about, all right, any new ones, Ephraim? Any new dates? Oh, any new hotties in your life now? Oh, who'd you meet when you were out in Barcelona? Who'd you meet? Blah, blah, blah. And most recently, this is a few weeks back when he asked me, we were walking back from the gym. This has had to be a month or two ago. And we passed by a girl that gave me a look, and then I even looked back to check her out a bit, and then we kept walking. And my dad, he saw that whole sequence play out, right? He's walking right next to me, and he looks at me and he goes, oh, she was looking at you, Ephraim. She was looking at you. You're going to go do your thing, man. You're going to go do your thing. And I looked at him and I go, nah, I'm good right now. Like I'm totally good. I don't feel the need to go over to that girl whatsoever. And that's genuinely how I was feeling in that moment, right? I wasn't feeling sexually frustrated. I wasn't feeling scarce. Oh my God, I need another date. And more so, I was there for him, right? I was there to work out with my father, try to help him get into shape, get him healthier. That was my priority in the moment, right? And so even something as small as that, right? If you reverse to when I first built this skill and I flew back from Warsaw to San Francisco, if that same situation would have played out, I probably would have been like, yeah, I'll be right back, Dad. And I would have ran over to her almost in a way to like show my dad, look what I can do. Look how cool I am now, right? Before I couldn't do this. Now I can do this. Look at me, Dad. Wow, look at how cool I am, right? And this also applies to when he asked me those questions about, oh, son, any new ones? Oh, you meet any new girls? Oh, how many girls did you see when you were out in Barcelona? This and that. And I won't even answer the questions now. And I'll just be like, oh, honestly, I prefer to keep that stuff private personally. Like I don't see myself as one of the guys who gloats about how many belt notches he has, right? And I'll say it like that. Yeah, because I no longer feel like I have something to prove because I've proven it to myself. And that's the most important person to prove it to is ourselves. So now that I've proven it to myself, it's like, I don't care about that person's opinion of me. I don't care about the internet comments that say, oh, this is fake. This is fabricated. Those are actors. This is all scripted, right? I don't care about my friends that might try to gloat and be like, oh, Ephraim, I went on 5 dates this week, buddy. You got to catch up. What are you doing? I mean, to be fair, this doesn't happen anyways, but if they for whatever reason said that, oh, Ephraim, you need to catch up, right? 2 years ago, I probably would have been like, oh, yeah, I went on 6 dates this week. Fuck you, right? Nowadays, I just be like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Good work, man. You're blowing me out of the water, man. I guess you're right. I got to catch up, huh? Little did he know, I got a whole fucking channel catalog of date breakdowns and all this stuff, right? So that's what I'm talking about is that one is pretty important for me, is going from the guy who got no girls to now all of a sudden building a skill set that generates me leads very consistently, and now I'm getting girls, to okay, now I need to prove to the world and show them, wow, see how wrong you were, guys from high school who were ridiculing me, see how wrong you were, look at me now, right? Going through that phase to now where I'm at, where I'm looking back and just laughing at that and going, wow, that was pretty pathetic. That was pretty pathetic that I had all this bravado and all of this insecurity regarding this space and this area of my life, because now that I've gotten it sorted, I no longer feel the need to prove it to people. I no longer need to feel the need to show, oh, look how great I am, this and that. So we've talked about, yeah, and the last bullet point I wrote down here, we actually already covered it. So I went out of order, but I put, you're able to focus on higher priorities instead of focusing on your next release. All right. And that we talked about that for had to be 20 minutes. So anyways, the next thing that I wrote to the guy is, we're always chasing the dragon. That's what makes life worth living. If we did achieve a goal and feel satisfied and lose all motivation as soon as we achieve that goal, then the world would turn upside down. So it makes sense why we feel this way. All right. So I also went into that, right? If now zooming out from dating, if somebody achieved their goal in whatever aspect, in whatever area of life, and they decided, now I'm good, now I'm satisfied, now I'm no longer going to contribute to society in any way, then society would literally turn upside down, because nobody would be trying anymore. We would just hit our first goal and then that would be it. So it makes sense why we feel this way. It makes sense why we continue to feel inadequate, even though we've proven ourselves in this space. It makes sense why we have our first date, our first happy ending through cold approach, and we look around in our empty apartment and nothing has changed. Yeah, maybe we feel 1% more confident, 1% we believe in ourselves more, but that hasn't actually, like, that cause and effect, there isn't much of a cause and effect there, right? It's like the cause being you actually got laid for the first time through cold approach, wow, and then you look for this massive effect and it's nowhere to be found, and you're going, where's the effect, right? It's because we're looking at the wrong areas here. The true cause and effect is, wow, look, you were able to get laid through cold approach. Now you no longer have to think with a sex-driven lens. You no longer have to think through this perspective of, oh my God, when's the next time I'm getting laid? I better open up Bumble. Yeah. That's the cause and effect, right? The cause is you're finally finding success with this skill set. The effect is you no longer feel this bravado, this chip on your shoulder, this insecurity that you need to show the world that you're better, that you're, oh, now I get girls. You no longer feel that anymore, right? That's the cause. That's the effect. Yeah. Cause, you finally finding success with the skill set. Effect, you no longer are feeling that FOMO, the feeling of missing out. You're no longer wondering what these creators are experiencing when they boast their date breakdowns and all of this. Oh, look, I'm on a date with this girl, blah, blah, blah. And you're wondering, I wonder what it's like to be that guy. I bet his life is perfect because he has the hot girl next to him. No, now you get to experience firsthand that is not the case, right? Now you are with the hot girl, you get to experience her, and then you get to look yourself in the mirror and go, all right, well, I mean, life hasn't changed much since 10 minutes ago when I was having sex with this girl. Now she's out, she's in the Uber. Now I'm sitting here and I'm going, all right, fuck, I still got to do my laundry. All right, shit, I still got work tomorrow. Fuck, what am I going to do? Right? Like that is reality. All right. So, and then I added a little bonus message I sent over to him. I said, great question, my friend. I'm going to stream about this today. And then I'll read the other message I sent him, which is, I'll reference to his original message where he said, it really boggles my mind, because he said, I'll continue to trust the process, but isn't it weird how I feel inadequate still, even though I've had all these positive reference experiences? It really boggles my mind. And so then I replied to that. I say, regarding the mind-boggling part, I totally agree. You'd think that with my recent history, regarding my channel and all my date breakdowns, you'd think that I'd be walking around as some uber confident guru who never falters, who is always confident, who always says something smooth. But I say, in reality, I question myself just as much as the next guy. I see gorgeous women, and there's still a part of me that thinks she's too good for me. I'm not enough for her. And that's coming from a guy who's had more success with women than the vast majority of men that I pass on the streets on a daily basis. Yeah, it's like if we were able to grab all these guys off the streets that I'm walking past and plot their dating life and then compare it to mine, odds are heavily in my favor that my dating life is more active, fun, spontaneous, unpredictable, right? Heavily in my favor. Yet still, I question myself just as much as the guy next to me who maybe has a very sparse, desolate dating life, inactive dating life. I still go through the same mental roadblocks that guy goes through, even though I'm the one that has the result and he's the one that doesn't have the result. Isn't that mind boggling? But that's simply how this goes. Now, to be fair, if you were to compare me to that guy, it's odds are I am more confident. Odds are I've got better social skills. Odds are I've got more about me in general and more of a personality. Odds are, I'm not saying this is certain, but odds are that's the case, right? Yet, those things can still be true while I'm still questioning myself. Yeah. It's like I could still seem like a smooth, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. This guy's real good at this, while still questioning myself. Yeah, that's the great part about individual experience is what the outside world sees when they look at me is not the same as what I see when I look at me, right? So, just being so vulnerable with you boys, when I'm thinking about myself, my own life, what I want to accomplish, I probably have this very similar thoughts to you. So you might be seeing my life from the outside perspective and think, when Ephraim thinks about himself, he probably thinks, wow, I'm so sick. Wow, I'm so amazing. Wow, my dating life is so great. Wow, I'm so confident. Wow, this is this and that. But in reality, I think very similarly to how you think, I bet, which is, all these people can think this about me. But when I look at myself, I'm going, I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough yet. I got to keep going. I got to make some more content. I got to go to the gym again. I got to go do some cardio. Oh, I'm not performing enough right now. Oh, I don't have enough content today. Oh, I need another live stream topic. Oh my God. That girl's hot. I don't know if I'm good enough. I'm going to walk over anyways, but I'm a little scared right now. Oh, she's way out of my league. I'm going to walk over anyways, but I'm nervous. I'm stumbling over my words. I don't know if she's actually going to like me. I hope that I'm seeming cool, calm, and collected when I'm talking to her. Oh, that girl was great. We had a great interaction. I hope she comes out on the date. I mean, if she doesn't, life goes on, but I hope she does. Like, that's how I'm thinking about life, just like you are, right? Maybe we're thinking about different things because we're in different phases of life, but recognize that I'm no different. Yeah, I'm not waking up and going, wow, great day to be a fucking confident alpha Chad who fucks all the time. Wow. What a great sunny day. I can't believe that I'm so confident and I've had all these experiences. Wow. Life is so easy and life is so good. Oh my God. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm sick. Wow. I got a channel. I got some subs on the channel. I got some guys in the community. Life is sick, right? That's not how I think. And hopefully me explaining this to you is very, what is it? What's the word? Normalizing. Yeah. Hopefully, this is a normalizing thing to hear from me to you, because that's genuinely, this is how I'm thinking about myself, right? Is fuck, I'm not doing enough right now. Damn it, I need to go. Oh, I feel like I just wasted the last hour doom scrolling on YouTube. What the fuck am I doing? Oh, I need to make some content today. Oh, I'm not being active enough in the community. Let me make a post right now. Oh my God, the entourage. I haven't talked in the entourage in a day. Let me reach out to Christian, or let me like some posts in the entourage. I need to be more active there. Okay, I need to focus on this area of my life now. Oh, now I got an Amazon shift I need to do. I'm not making enough money right now. How much runway do I have before I need to get another job? Okay, I got a few months left. All right, I got to hammer this harder. Okay, fuck, I only got a few months of runway. I need to put more effort into this channel, into this content, into this community. I'm not doing enough right now. I don't feel good enough right now. Okay, I got somebody that joined the community. Holy shit, this just got real. Now I feel like I got to perform even more. Now I feel like I got to add more value. This is how my mind works. Probably very similarly to how yours works, right? The content of what you're thinking about is probably completely different because you work a different job, you've got a different life, you're from a different place, different upbringing, but you probably are thinking something similar every day. Every day you're waking up and you're going, I'm not enough yet. I need to do more. I need to make more money. I need to improve myself more. I need to improve tomorrow. I need to make tomorrow easier for myself. So let me put in some work today. At least hopefully that's how you're thinking, right? So hopefully that's normalizing. Okay. So, yeah, the next thing I said is part of this is certainly how I grew up. I imagine if I had success with girls from the very beginning, then I would have felt good enough from a very early age. But once again, that's me imagining. I have no idea what that's like because that's not my reality. But I imagine that if I, from the very start of my life, when I was just getting into, oh, now I'm attracted to girls, now I'm 10, 12 years old, and I'm starting to get thoughts and wet dreams and this and that. If I was already having success and being able to date my classmates at the time, then maybe I would have thought from a way earlier age, yeah, I am good enough, and I wouldn't have any of these thoughts. Maybe, I don't know, I'm just speculating, but that's not my reality, right? So next thing that I say is, but this is still new to me. All right. So I went 16 plus years with no luck with girls. And then the next 4 years after that, I had all right luck with girls, right? 4, 5, 6 years after that. And then I turned 23. I met Christian, and then that shit exploded, right? So my brain is still catching up to this change in dating activity. For what? I don't know the exact percentages, but for 90 to 95% of my life or something like that, I had no success with girls or a little bit of success with girls. And so my brain is used to that reality. And now for the past 2.5 years, I've had insane success with girls, and my brain has been overloaded and it's still catching up. Yeah, it's still thinking that I'm this unfuckable, unworthy kid that girls didn't like, and it still thinks that way more or less. It's just that a lot of that has been peeled back, thankfully, because of the success that I've had with this skill. All right. So, what a fucking jam-packed live stream. We've been going for 55 minutes, but that is what I have for you boys today. All right. She is not going to make you happy. All right. That release that you're so desperately chasing, that you've probably been consuming content and trying all these products and all these accessory products. Oh my God, try this skincare routine for men. Oh, try this new style. You're not getting results with girls because your style sucks. So you got to try to become somebody else now. Oh, try all of these tactics and read these books about the mystery method and try this. And, you know, you might do all that and you might finally get the result that you're after, but my prediction is that you are going to experience something very similar to what I have experienced, to what this guy in the paid community is experiencing right now, which is not much is going to change immediately, right? It's not like you're gonna climax, you're gonna drain your balls of the testosterone, and then 5 seconds later you're gonna go, I'm enlightened now. Okay, it's done. Work's over. Work's done. Life is good. I'm good. I never have to try again. Nah, nah. What's much more likely to happen is what happens to me and what happened to this guy and what happens to most guys in this space that I've spoken to, which is they realize that this was not the end all be all. They realize that this actually, they start to question whether or not this was actually worthwhile. But, the great thing is it doesn't even matter whether or not it was or was not worthwhile. The sex drive is going to make it worthwhile either way, right? It's like you can't unless you chop your balls off, you genuinely can't get past this. You're going to have this sex drive. So whether or not you want to figure out this area of your life, if you don't, your sex drive is going to be enraged, meaning you're going to be always in the bathroom jerking off every other night because your sex drive is going, we need a release, we need somewhere to put this, we need to implant a baby somewhere, right? We're getting all biological now, but that's essentially what your body is telling your brain, right? We need a release. It's been however many months. We need a release. And so you're going to go watch your favorite porn video and you're going to find a release that way. And that's going to be way less satisfying. Or you're going to follow along with this content. You're going to pick up your balls. You're going to walk over to the girl. You're going to finally get the date, finally have that fun, happy ending experience. But the same thing's going to happen, right? You're going to get your release and then you're going to go, okay, I mean, that was great, but fuck, we still got work to do. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the key there is it doesn't matter whether or not you want to sort this area of your life out. You're going to experience the consequences of not doing it, of not sorting this area out inevitably, because that's our biological makeup, right? Is your body is going to be telling you that you're not doing something right. And so you're going to always be sexually frustrated, and that's going to suck. Being sexually frustrated sucks a lot more than the fear that you're going to have to face when going through this, right? So anyways, boys, that's what I had to talk about. No comments today. So hopefully that means that I was super engaging and everybody is just stewing over what I was talking about on this live stream. But anyways, plans for today. My dad invited me to this little family barbecue get together. So I'm going to go show my face over there. Yeah, have some small talk with some relatives, and then try to line up a Amazon shift for myself. Otherwise, we're gearing up for Belgrade. A little less than 2 weeks until I'm in Serbia, and I'm so excited for it. And I have no idea how it's gonna play out, but I'm excited to create as I go. Yeah, I'm excited to just pull out the GoPro and get the infield content and see my entourage brothers and just have a great time out there. So, anyways, I hope you boys enjoyed as always. I hope this was somewhat insightful for you, made you think. Yeah, made the gears start to turn a bit, and I look forward to speaking to you next. Oh, my last thing I'll do here is my sales pitch. Yeah, my plug. I just dropped a paid school community. Link is in the description of this video and all my other videos. So I've got a free school community that's been going on for a year plus now. That's where guys comment and post about their experiences, their questions, seek feedback, all of that stuff. Now I've dropped a paid school community, which is going to be tailored toward, more personalized, tailored towards person specific feedback. We're going to be way more intimate, pause, but you'll have access to me via DM, direct access. So I'll be chatting to you like I've been chatting to my guy who I dedicated this live stream to. We'll have our weekly group coaching call where we'll hold each other accountable, talk about what we did in the past week, what we want to accomplish in the week going forward. And then we'll have different bonuses like flirting, live role playing to flirt. I'm calling it Find the Fun. I'll teach you how to, not even teach you. We'll work through this together, right? We'll just do live role playing where we pretend, one of us pretends to be the girl, and we just try to have fun, vibrant conversation with each other as we go, so that you feel more equipped when you're going out and having these conversations with the girls that you're interested in. And then weekly challenges on top of that, and of course exclusive content. I've already got 3 exclusive videos that are posted in that community only for members. They only get access to it, and those will be all the date breakdowns moving forward, plus other content, etc. So if you would like to join, then feel free to apply. Link is in the description of this video. Otherwise, feel free to continue binging and capitalizing on all this free content that I'll be continuing to give you. All right. So anyways, I hope you boys appreciate and enjoy, and going for your approaches, because life is too short not to. All right.